Welcome to Fast Forward Magazine, Calgary's resource for up-to-date news, reviews, and event details from around the city. Company culture often tells us a lot about an organization. It can even be the deciding factor for a potential employee in choosing their place of work.
It's fun. It's a fun place to be. I think there's really a feeling that we're all in it together. Like there's a passion here, and everybody feels that. At least the people who stick around, they really feel that. So there's definitely a sense we're in it together. If times are good or if times are bad, or when you're trying to get a paper out and something's late, it's really kind of there's a camaraderie I don't know if you get in other workplaces.
Goofy? I think is a good way to go. I don't know, it's a fun place to work. In terms of like a culture, I guess it's just sort of a little bit chaotic, but in a sort of fun and creative way. Everyone is sort of friends with everybody else. I think you can tell just from the open concept of the office that everybody sort of yells and gets along and communicates with each other, and it's just a place where people are supposed to be having fun while also working awfully hard.
That's great. They're very like-minded people. Feel like I've known them for a long time, even though I've just started, so it's great. Get along with everyone really well.
The company culture, well, seeing as how I've been here for 6 years, has actually just recently changed now that we have moved downstairs to this building. It was pretty quiet, to be honest, very separate between editorial and sales. And now that we are in an office where it's all open concept and we have the music, the energy is really picked up, and we've had some staff changes, which has also added to the energy of the room, which has been great. So it's now the culture I find has been uplifting. Lots of amazing, talented people that work in this office. I'm surprised not more artists work here, because this is the arts and culture scene here, but which is interesting. But yeah, no, for the most part, it's fun, and I find there's less separation now that we're in this office, which is really cool because we are really one big team.
And then there's this one kid who's just not getting back to us, and he's got great video that I'd like to put up on the website, and he's got great still images.
Company culture starts from the inception of the organization, and even as the company grows, the culture should always transcend. Just like the brand Oprah Winfrey, a signature experience is grounded in a set of stories. When we think of Oprah, who can forget her humble childhood beginnings in rural Mississippi? She built her empire based on the idea that she truly represents the American dream. Every organization can benefit by having a story that frames their company. Let's look into Fast Forwards.
Can you tell me Fast Forward's story as an organization?
You should ask Drew that.
Okay, but what in your experience and your interpretation, what would it be?
Well, I guess it's been around for something like 15, 16 years, and it's been started small, and it's grown to become kind of a mainstay in the Calgary, not only arts and music and culture scene, but also news. We're covering things that mainstream outlets tend to not cover as much, or at least in the same depth. And so obviously lots of changes over the years, gone through a lot of staff changes.
It started 16 years ago. Ian Chicklow was the founding editor. He had worked, I believe, at Vox, which was a sort of music publication at the University of Calgary, and started this one, and then was here up until a month ago, acting as the publisher at this point, and then just left. But yeah, 16 years, so building up from sort of a rough and tumble little publication, trying to make a go of it, and has kind of established itself in the city, I think, at this point.
It started as a rebellious kid a little bit, and through the years has just grown up. It's kept that rebellious edge, but it's sort of learned a lot about the world and expanded its horizons, I think, to look at arts and culture and news.
It's an alternative news weekly, kind of a little bit non-mainstream media type of thing. If you're looking for a real opinion that's not influenced by anything other than that person, their education and what they've read, that's a really good spot to go. And then direct line for arts and theater, great spot for music events, and if you're ever looking for a restaurant, great spot to sort of look at the listings there.
How I usually describe it is as the city's Bible to what's going on. So if you want to be in the know of what's going on in the city, this is your go-to paper that you pick up every Thursday.
Our story, that's pretty big. I've been here since day one, so I've been here for almost 16 years. And the story essentially is, God, that's so hard. It is pretty broad, but
if you were to tell Fast Forward, what is Fast Forward to someone who had no idea in a few sentences?
Well, although, we always say news and entertainment weekly, that's what we are, but essentially I think it's a little bit more than that. It's more of a community-based, what's going on in Calgary for Calgarians. If you need to know what's going on in the world, we have an aspect of that. If you need to know what's going on in town, we try and cater to the people that go out or want to go out and want to be part of Calgary culture. So that's kind of what we do.
If we don't know our organization's signature experience, then how do we frame our work and outputs to tie back into the organization's values and beliefs? Fast Forward Story is a launching point for all their interviews conducted, events covered, and stories written. As Generation Ys, we are often fearful to lose our creative spirit when entering the workforce. Good news. Creativity in the workplace is still valued.
What sets Fast Forward apart is not only having like an alternative voice, but having alternative voices. So individual creativity is very much encouraged, I think, and especially, I haven't been here long, but that's something that I definitely am encouraging in my staff. You want people to kind of push the boundaries a little bit at Fast Forward, and you're not going to get that if someone's just dictating what you should be thinking or doing.
No, I think new ideas are really important. I'd say that they're encouraged, strongly encouraged. I think that's what keeps us current and relevant and interesting. And when you get someone like Drew, who's the new editor, in place, they really know how to push for that and get the talking and the brainstorming going. So I think new ideas are really encouraged here.
Not only is creativity valued, but the historic belief of having a traditional mentor has been replaced by a more relaxed approach, the buddy.
Usually make a point of chatting with people when they first start, and we actually have had a few new faces lately. So yeah, I'll just chat with them and ask how things are going, if they have questions. I'm not their manager, but just to be a peer who can, for questions or help or anything. We had Josiah, our music and film editor, started sort of at a crazy time in the middle of summer. And when I was filling in, before we hired Drew, I filled in as editor briefly and found out that he didn't know where to find pens, he didn't know where to find notebooks, and he didn't know how to use his mailbox. So those things, when it's really busy and it's summertime and people are away, apparently they can fall through the cracks. So yeah, we try to cover those things.
And any of them really, like Fred's got a lot on his plate there, and certainly always there to help and always there with an answer, but sometimes I like to ask the sort of rest of the sales team just to sort of take the load off his plate. Feel comfortable? Oh, definitely. I really like to distribute my stupid questions amongst a bunch of people so that I don't get pinpointed as that guy.
Being the boss, it's asking someone who knows what's going on, and so I don't want to say buddy, but we just recently have established a system now where we go out and have coffee, just the sales peeps, and we just shoot the shit and we bitch and whatever we need, kind of separate from the boss, which is kind of a good thing, right? So we can kind of support each other and talk amongst each other and then move forward in a positive environment.
I've worked with some photographers, assisted for them, which has been a really valuable experience for me, for sure. And I keep in touch with them. Whether I'd call them mentors, I don't know. Maybe just kind of friends in the industry. That's nice to talk with and bounce ideas off and learn from their experience too. So yeah.